The two types of exponential functions are exponential growth and exponential decay. Exponential growth is a change that occurs when an original amount is increased by a consistent rate over a period of time. Exponential decay occurs in the same way when the growth is negative. In the graph, you can see if it is exponential growth or decay by checking if the curve is increasing or decreasing. When a is greater than 0 and the v is greater than 1, the graph will be increasing, so it is exponential growth. When a is greater than 0 and the v is between 0 and 1, the graph will be decreasing, so it is exponential decay.
Now we are going to talk about the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. On April 26, 1986, which is 20 years ago, a really serious accident happened in nuclear history, and it changed the life of a lot of people. The explosion occurred in one of the reactors of the nuclear power plant. Really big amounts of radioactive materials were released into the environment, which resulted in a big radioactive cloud that spread a lot over Europe. The accident occurred because of a combination of basic engineering deficiencies in the reactor and also because of the fact that the safety systems had been switched off. Since the accident, around 600,000 people have been involved in emergency containment, cleaning, and recovery operations, even though very few of them have been exposed to dangerous levels of radiation. Approximately 1,000 people were the ones that really received the highest doses of radiation, which were mostly emergency workers and the personnel that were on the place during the first days of the accident.
The incident could have been prevented if a more experienced crew was in charge or if the staff available was more capacitated. Once the explosion occurred, it was almost impossible to contain the spread of radioactivity. The radiation did reach America, including Mexico, but not in ways that it would affect anyone. Four environmental consequences were the nearby forest was heavily affected, so the leaves of the tree became red because of the extreme radiation, calling it the Red Forest. The Pripyat River was also heavily contaminated. Acid rain became more frequent, and growing plants came out malformed. The large quantities of radiation and radioactive substances that are released to our environment affecting us all. Radioactivity affects the cells of a living being, causing deformities and serious health issues. In a global scale, crop couldn't be the same, making starvation a problem. Pregnant mothers would have deformed children, causing more deaths, and cities would be uninhabitable.
When using nuclear energy, the ecological effects in the environment are of the best ways of producing energy. But if a small problem occurs in a power plant, the damages can be catastrophic. We consider nuclear energy to be clean energy, since the emissions of nuclear power plants consist only of hot water. The amount of CO2 and other climate-changing substances come in incredibly small amounts. Besides, if its waste and production is correctly managed, the geological and environmental damage of nuclear energy is very limited. We didn't know until we did a research that Mexico has in operation only one nuclear energy plant, the Laguna Verde nuclear power plant located in the Gulf of Mexico, Veracruz. We believe this nuclear power plant isn't safe. Radiation equipment that have been in use for over 14 years without maintaining increases the possibility of failure at the plant. If a nuclear accident occurred in this plant, the prevailing winds that blow from the Gulf over Mexico City could create a catastrophic event.
As a team, we believe that the best solution is to stop nuclear weapons from being produced and use the nuclear energy to produce more clean energy. And in case of having a nuclear plant, all the security requirements must be covered to prevent any accident. If this solution is properly applied, the environmental effects will be minimum, while many clean and efficient energy will be produced.